What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Microtopia is the game. I know I've said it several times, but I just can't stay away from this game. I'm going to try to stick to my 30-minute timer. Timer has already started. Wow. The last one, heartbreak. We had this last guy ship out mere seconds, moments after she would have counted. We would have had 3 of these. Let's go ahead and see if we can spend any of our hard-earned yellow science guide points. It looks like we need 300 blue science to unlock this concrete core. And this one is also going to cost blue and yellow science. But once we get it, it will revolutionize everything. So that might be worth it. Let's hold on to those guide points for now. And let's just try and pop these. Looks like we already have another princess coming. Amazing. 58 minutes until the next nuptial flight. I think the most important thing we can do while we wait now is really ensure that this island is the next one to be become fully self-sufficient, self-aware, whatever have you. And it is almost there. We are right on the precipice of, greatness. Let's do these because this area in here, yeah, extreme importance to us. This area is good, and eventually we can work our way around here and stuff. But this area is where all the action is happening. And we want to take advantage of that. We want to move up in here. We want to be able to use all this here, all this space in here, all the way up to and including, on the border of this forest. How far up can we go? Yeah, that's beautiful. Look at that. So that's essentially what we're going to do. We're going to get all this in some kind of flooring. And that's why we really need to get the concrete floor tiles ASAP. We simply don't need to produce 1 trillion iron floor tiles because you can get the whole thing for free. It's cost 50 rubble, essentially. Once you get 50 rubble on any island, or 50 concrete, it's over. You don't need anything else. You can tile the whole... Excuse me, I am so sorry. You could tile the whole island. Let's try and get these to reproduce elsewhere. And by elsewhere, I mean in our little forest over there. Yeah, would be nice. And that's, another reason to tile over everything. Not everything, right? But to tile over large swaths of the island so that things only spawn where you want them to. And, then you can take your ants and have them be in useful spots. That way you're not like, okay, my digger ants are produced way down here, and I gotta send them all the way over here. You'll have them be in their useful spot immediately. Okay, let's move this. I just want to pause it really quickly. There we go. Yeah, that's plenty of space. See, I mean, we don't need all this stuff right away either, right? Because every time we recycle a digger ant, which I'm realizing now that we don't have this on here, Every time we recycle a digger ant, we could probably get, what, 3 in here? Yeah, that's probably okay. Every time we recycle a digger ant, we get an iron cube. So we don't need to mine any of this to have a self-sufficient setup. Let's increase this more. Let's enter if it's less than 50. And let's try and get, 75 out of there. I just don't like having such a small stockpile. Especially since we're now using them to make diodes. And diodes are going to need to go back to the main island. They're one of the main things that we can send over there. For the moment. I mean, we can make diodes over here as well. Because we're sending copper wire, but... As to my main philosophy, I'd rather send completed goods than incomplete or, Well, we're already up to 89, 90. Once we get to 110, we'll start this, and we'll start sending more of these back. We really only need, for now, about 50 in here. But, if we keep our guys working, we'll be fine. But we really need more. And we can just use these guys for now. This is going to become part of a larger transport network in between all these islands. And when we need space, I know the perfect place to get it and how to accomplish that, and that's what we'll do. I can't wait to get more onto the jungle island. I just love the music there. Okay, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. So that's something that we want to avoid, right? And we always want to have enough ants flying that, or enough drones flying that even when we pull our 10 for the gyne, it doesn't impact, or even when we pull our, 30 worker ants, it doesn't impact our flight patterns it doesn't make them too irregular, So you can see, I think there's some flying now, or there's one there walking to the launch pad. Well, that just respawned there. That's interesting. That was not there. We really need to, do something like this. I think that's too close. Really ought to be over here, huh? Like that. Yep. What do you guys think is worse, sneezing or coughing? I feel like sneezing is the worst thing. Worst thing ever. Alright, we're 50 minutes away from the next full moon. Next time the nuptial flight is. And we have well over I mean, we're already done with 2 of these things, right? Crazy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, we just made it. You just made it in there, bud. Let's... We don't need that anymore. But you guys can go here. Oops, what happened here? Hold up. I don't know. I don't like it. There we go. Wow, there it is. There it is, folks. We were pumping out the guidance. Like I said, it isn't as intimidating as it seemed in the beginning. It's just how do you work it out in your head, right? How do you turn the concept into a reality? I think it's the difficult part. But, you know, again, that's just my perception of it, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's still things that we need to do, but we're just kind of monitoring everything right now. We need a little bit more space. But everything looks really nice. I think, you know, we're mostly waiting to see if when this finishes, so we can start getting some iron blocks over here. Once we get some iron blocks over here, we can begin building this. But we have, it sucks because, you know, we have more plentiful, oh, I think we have enough to do this. I think we have enough to do this now, folks. Let's give it a shot. Let's go, baby. Okay, so what can we do with these guys? Oh, backwards. Okay. So let's get them going. And let's say over here. What do we want from over there? What do we want to make sure we have? And what do we want to bring over there, really? I'm just thinking. I mean, I know we obviously are going to take these, right? So, we are going to do something like this. And we're going to say, okay, if you... Alright, well, let's just pause for a second, just for a moment. We're going to take what? This. Stockpile gate, just make sure that we have enough. Oh no, we need to do the other part first. Mm-hmm. Just because it's first right now, we want to take this one here. So if there's less than, 160, take something out of there. And what are we taking out of there? Anything. That's remainder. See if we have enough space, huh? Let's go. We definitely want to pull light bulbs out as well. Make sure that there's at least 30 light bulbs in there. I like it. And then maybe we'll pull diodes this way. Make sure there's at least, I don't know, 10. Probably more than that. Let's just make sure there's 10. We can up that later, but I don't know that we're going to need... I don't know how many we're going to need. I just know that we're going to need them more. Let's just do 100. 100 of less than 100. Try and make 125. They were never going to leave anyway. Okay. Perfect. Mm-hmm. All right. Now we do the same over here. Let's say if you're... something like this. And then we'll do carry gate. So if you're carrying green, if you're carrying light bulb, if you're carrying diode, that's nice. I like that a lot. Okay. We should be good now. We should be good now. Light bulbs. We are going to need a lot of light bulbs on this island. Although we could export resin. We could export resin. Once we move this out of the way, we'll get another crack at making some kind of, import-export complex, much like we have here. Eventually, like I said, this is going to be a whole interconnected web of goodness. I can't wait. Get out of here with that. Excuse me. Maybe we want this one in there. This one. Mm-hmm. That's perfect. Yeah, I really like this game, especially, like I said, I mean, I keep saying that, but it's so well done. It's like any game though, it's not for everybody. But, it could be for anybody, it could be anybody. I think that's neat. I really appreciate that. How many drones do we have? 13. Yeah, again, most of all, we're just looking to have our islands be self-sufficient. Once this gets, like I said, okay, it's almost there. Let's get the infrastructure ready. So, we're going to do a double stockpile gate. Let's just do it like this. Double stockpile gate. That means we can move these way back. We got all the space in the world. A counter gate. Yeah, that's fine. Because we need to go this way. So the first condition is going to be what does the stockpile say? Right? If there's less than, 100 in there, do it. Only if there's greater than 1 in there, or greater than 0 in there. Otherwise, I don't want you to waste your time. In fact, there's nothing even alive here. Which is... It's a shame, man. It's hard. I think we just started on this island way too early, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think we just started on this island way too early. Totally unnecessary at this point, I think, to be here. But, again, sorry. Sorry to blank out on you. I did want to make the gameplay compelling, right? I did want it to be a case of, okay, there is some kind of, wariness on our part. We need to be aware of what's happening at all times. But at the same time, okay, we can do that here. That could be... There we go. Okay. I hesitate to say that, this colony is in a good spot, or this outpost is in a good spot, because I don't think it is. But, it might be. This needs to go here. And if this ever gets to 100, 125, get out of there. Okay. And you know what? We can delete this. No, don't go there. This is for iron blocks. Go there. That's exactly what we want. Now the first 2 iron blocks will go here, and that means that we can do something like this. If you're a small worker, go there. Otherwise, maybe come this way and just die for now. Eventually, you'll be turned back into drones. drones or other ants. And we're choosing to do regular workers because we want, or we don't have fabric here yet, so we can't do that. But ultimately, it doesn't matter what we're doing here yet. We don't have the capacity to head in here to do anything of import. What we are going to do though is do something like this and set up maybe like here. Remember, this island is all about learning how to deal with objects that are resource mining, resource grabbing that has multiple outputs. And how do we handle that, right? Well, that's something that we're here to learn how to do together. I mean, I have a idea of what I want to do, but this is probably the wrong thing to do here. It's too far. And that's the wrong way to go here. Go like that. Yeah, I like that much better. We'll go here. We will do this one. If you're carrying rubble, go in that way. If you aren't, go that way. Go here. Well, let's do what? 4? I thought we clicked worker. Oh well. Okay. And in fact, let's do one more condition. That this stockpile, oops. That the stockpile over there is not, you know, overfilled. It's less than 300. We'll send 4 in there. And then we'll build a ton of fabric on this island. That will be the next thing we need. How many of those cost? 10, okay. And then we'll need to make fabric. We'll need to make screws. Well, we don't need screws, right? Because we're sending them in here. I like the way you think. I like the way you think. And we still have an insane amount of screws here, which is perfect. Okay. We're about to have our third guide with 30 minutes left. I'm friggin' shocked at how quickly this is happening. Yeah, it looks like there's about 1 minute left in this episode. Thanks everybody for watching. Appreciate you all. Let's just take a brief overview of this. Okay, look, we have a ton of light bulbs coming now. So we can put those there. You know, just again, this isn't automated. We will be able to automate. We will be able to automate. In particular, when we could unlock the smart dispenser very soon. But again, I'm telling you, this concrete core and the concrete floor tile is gotta be the most important thing for us. We want to organize on this island. More than anything. Organize. How's this doing? Kind of holding its own, right? Kind of holding its own. Not too bad. Not too good. 3.6 Roentgen. Alright, well that's my timer. Thanks again everybody for watching. Appreciate ya. And we'll see you in the next one.